Hey folks, today we are taking a look at ToyWorld TW-T01 Grind Rod. Now this is the first in the 6-figure set from ToyWorld for the Throttlebot remakes. The first guy is Grind Rod, and he is packaged in this very nice green box. The box itself is fairly big, actually. Here we have a FOC Optimus Prime to give you a size comparison for the height of the box. So we'll get him out of the way. On the bottom of the box is the next figure in the lineup is going to be TW-T02. And that guy is going to be based off of one of the new Land Rovers. And as you can see, he looks pretty interesting. But at the time of this video, there are no pre-orders out for that guy yet. So going to go ahead and open the box here. There is no tape on the box, which I was very happy to see. Oh, I did pick this guy up at TF Source, so it was their shipping was real quick, less than 2 days. So, in the box, what we have are the figure itself, and then we've got the instructions and this nice little card. And something that I found really cool about the card was they actually have, the card has its own sleeve. So the card has this nice own little sleeve, which is, I really do appreciate. So let's see here, just get the card out, and the card is pretty darn thick and sturdy. I mean, this card is not going to bend that easy. So here are his tech specs. I have no idea what any of those characters mean, sorry about that. But, so, there we go. So, the actual figure itself does not take up that much of the box. The box is, I'll be honest, the box is big considering how big the figure is in vehicle mode. But it did have a single twisty tie, and not the new paper kind of twisty ties that Hasbro's using. They used a good old-fashioned plastic around metal wire twisty tie. And I haven't seen one of those in years, so that was a little funny. That was a little blast from the past, actually. Getting him out of the box, once you get the twisty tie off, he lifts right out, but you don't really need the twisty tie because he sits in this box nice and snugly. So, getting a look at the figure with this Jeep Wrangler, I think this is a Jeep Wrangler Rubicon. Looks very good, very nice. The look of the robot mode is nice, clean, and crisp. Yeah, there are panel lines. There's nothing I can do about that. But I actually don't mind that here. The vehicle mode just looks really, really good. There's nothing wrong with this vehicle mode. I can't think of a negative thing to say unless green is not your favorite color. Otherwise, well, what can I say? The one accessory of the vehicle mode is the tire here on the back. Now the tire just comes off very easily, and this will transform into Grind Rod's weapon. To do that, we'll reach underneath and flip out the two barrels. Now the first time I did this, this pin was incredibly tight. I was afraid I was going to break the thing. It was that tight. But you end up with this nice little gun here based off the wheel, and I like the gun. I think the gun works. It's a very cool looking little gun. So the figure itself, the first thing I want to talk about with the transformation is the recent revelation from ToyWorld that this is going to be a combiner. And the way you form it into its foot mode is to first fold the front of the vehicle mode down and then rotate it up. And there are these holes right here by the vents here, and they just plug right in. And it's in its foot mode. Now, some folks have had the foot mode with the tire just sticking up here. That's not going to work. And I have noticed, though, even with the gun deployed, or even with the gun not deployed, this wheel just does not want to plug into these holes on the side. I think these holes on the side might be for arms microns or for other figures or other weapons coming down the line, but it just doesn't fit with the wheel. But here we have the foot, and it does look like, besides the peg hole here, it does look like there are some other peg holes right there. So more than likely, this guy is most likely going to become a foot. So transformation for this guy is a little bit difficult, but once you figure out how it works, it's not that bad. The first thing we're going to do is you've got to separate the front part of the vehicle, and then you have to unpeg the door, this whole door section from the roof. And to do that, I haven't found a really good way to do it. But what I've done is just kind of wiggle things until you can get your nail in this section and push out to unpeg it. So just do that here. And then when you get that unpegged, you can then reach down here and unpeg the side here. And that will allow you to fold what will be the robot mode legs down, and then extend the front of the vehicle down to form the bottom legs. Next, we'll take those door sections and fold them over the knees, and then we'll come into the front of the grille and fold up the feet, just like we did for creating his foot mode. So there is the bottom of the vehicle mode. For the top, or for the torso section, I have found that the best thing to do is first unpeg the rear wheels and the area around the rear wheels. Unpeg them and then turn them 180 degrees so the wheels are pointing towards the roof of the vehicle. Then take the top of the vehicle and slide it off, and you're going to feel like you're going to break this thing, but this hinge right here is pretty strong and it will pop off. So just kind of pull it off, and there we go. Now I tried to do it gingerly, but this section can come out very, very easily. So don't be afraid if this whole back part pops off. It just pops right back in. So when you do get it off of the main body, fold the roof down and then just kind of slide it straight down. And when you do that, it's going to pop off. It just will. So what I like to do is just get it right back and line everything back up. It just does not like to stay in on my figure. So then once you got it back in, you could fold the rear or the side panels around, and they peg in together, holding this piece in. Next, come back up to the front, lift up the head. That is actually a very tight pin joint in there as well. Then take the front roof with the windscreen and just fold it up a little bit. Just kind of got to get it up enough and pegged up and unpegged from the sides here so that you can reach to the side and pull out the arms. And if you heard what sounded like a cat, that was my cat. Then for these side panels, you pull them up on hinges. So I'll show you this back here. See, it's on this hinge, and you want to pull it up and move it forward towards the fist. Like that. And then you fold up the arms and just twist everything around to get them into place. And then you take the front and fold that up and peg it into place. And here we have Grind Rod in robot mode. In robot mode, Grind Rod looks fantastic. Just flat out, he looks good. He does have a little bit of a backpack, but honestly, you're not even going to notice. One other thing I did notice about this figure is the plastic is vastly improved over what we got with Hegemon from ToyWorld before. The plastic on this guy is just amazing. It is tough, it is hard, well, I don't want to say hard, but it is solid. You do not feel like this thing is going to be floppy. It does not feel like it's going to break. And Grind Rod's Poseability is also fantastic, and it's very I can't believe that they were able to get the Poseability out of this guy that they have been. Head is on a swivel. It is not on a ball joint, but it can bend back a little bit to look up. There is some light piping in the head, however. I don't know why it's there, because you're not really going to get much light piping, especially with this piece coming over the back like that. Shoulders are on you have a swivel there, then it terminates in a ball joint in the upper shoulder. a swivel underneath that, and a hinge where you can get good 90 degrees, and then both wrists can turn. There is torso articulation. Then there is a ball joint in the hip, a swivel joint underneath that, and plenty of articulation in the knee. You get a 90-degree bend there. No foot articulation. Not a big deal, but you can get some really nice poses out of this guy, and you can pretty much do whatever you see on the box. So I've done that as well, and just getting him posed is really easy. He's very well balanced. You're not going to have any problems with him at all. He just looks good. Now, are there any problems with this figure? Well, the backpack does have a tendency to come apart very easily. It's not a huge deal, but just something to remember. I know this is going to sound weird, but the only issue I've had is I've actually needed to use a lot of force in order to move his arms and parts of his this knee. Now, it has loosened up a little bit just from use, but the arms are still incredibly tight. That's not a complaint. I'm really not complaining about that. I just want you to know that that is going to be there. If I had to complain about anything, it's that joint right here that holds this piece, this backpack piece in. It just comes apart way too easily, and it just does not want to stay in, especially on my figure. Now, maybe that's just me. I don't know if any of the other reviewers or any of the other folks who have gotten a hold of this guy have the same issue. It's not really that big a deal, but it is a little bit annoying. It's more of a pain in the butt than anything, but it's not something that I would consider being a deal breaker. It's definitely not a deal breaker at all. It's just annoys me. So at 60 bucks, 60, maybe 70 bucks, this guy isn't cheap, but in all honesty, you're getting more quality work out of ToyWorld than you are Hasbro. To give you an idea on size, here is a current deluxe FOC Prime compared to Grindrod. And then I have a completely random Cybertron Unicron Deluxe that doesn't want to stand. And we've got MP Thundercracker as I knock over figures. And then, just for the heck of it, Metalhead. Oh no! So please excuse my really bad size comparison there. Anyway, so transformation back into vehicle mode it's a little bit tricky, but it's not that bad. So the first thing we'll do is return the arm pads to their original location. Fold the chest piece down. Fold the head up. And again, just all of these joints are nice and tight. You're not going to have any looseness here. And like I said, I've had to look very, very hard to find any plastic imperfections. There are a few, but they're completely out of the way. Like at the very bottom of the shoulder on the inside right here. You're not going to really pay attention to that all that much. So, like I said, fold the arms down, or I should say the shoulders down and in like this. Like that. Peg those into place, and then that will allow us to bring the sides around, flip them back around. And I feel like I can manhandle this figure a little bit. I mean, I am going to be a little bit difficult, but I feel like I can be a little tougher with it than I would other third-party figures. It's just, I've got to say, ToyWorld has done a fantastic job here with just getting everything, just getting this figure assembled. I am shocked at the high quality. I will be honest, my Hegemon, or not Megatron, is still, I put him back, after I did the review, I had him on the shelf for a little while, and then I put him back in the box because I was worried that he was going to break, or that I was going to break him. This guy, I do not have that concern, believe me. So, like I said, I picked Grind Rod up at TF Source. He is still available for order. If you can pick him up, I would highly recommend getting a hold of this guy. This thing is money well spent.